The 10 strangest unsolved video game discoveries. Let's see what they're all about, shall we? By
Pokemon Omega
Oddheader.
Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Ah, Pokemon one, okay.
Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire's final scenes are just like every other Pokemon game, where the player battles the most elite Pokemon trainers in the game one after another until reaching the end. At one point you come across Pokemon trainer Phoebe, who seems to be trapped in a constant state of bowing when somebody enters the room.
She just
Phoebe,
likes
for the most part, is
jiggering
your
about, you know?
endlessly cheerful Pokemon trainer. Definitely not unlike what you would expect of the tone of the series. Wait a second, did you see that?
No,
Go
what?
back.
Okay. Look closely, get your binoculars out.
If you were to slow down this fade out and pause just at the right time, you can spot this unusual model of a little girl standing on this chair who only appears for a single frame.
How did I not know that?
Before the camera cuts away. Is
How
it
did
just me or
how did I not know that one? All this time, I'm supposed to be the Pokemon guy, and I didn't know that?
do the Pokemon games seem to have a weird fascination with ghost girls? Players even claim they can't get her to ever appear at all. I don't know what to say about this one, but oh, there she is again.
What? Oh, dude, come on, man. That's messed up. You can't be doing that. Do you think that's the younger version of Phoebe? Is Phoebe actually dead? She died as a child, and now this is a ghost that's grown up?
Directly behind the player. And that's the last we'll ever see her again. It's hard to say who this ghost girl is and why she's here to ruin our childhoods. Although a couple of theories have been bounced around, the ghost girl's identity has never been determined.
It's totally Phoebe. Or Phoebe's little sister that died unexpectedly back in the day. And in order to get over the fact that her sister had unfortunately passed away, Phoebe started confiding in ghost types because she wanted to find a way to communicate with her dead sister. That's my headcanon.
She's definitely not the first ghost girl to ever appear in Pokemon. And for some reason, probably not the last one either.
No,
so many ghost girls. I am the one.
Gex, Enter the Gecko. Thanks to
Gex!
who submitted this mystery to me along with a couple
the greatest
other
game
Gex
of all
mysteries
time.
through my website, oddheader.com. One of the most interesting submissions Kaya Sorensu sent me was this footage from Twitcher Nanachi SR. Nanachi SR was speedrunning through this bonus stage of Gex Enter the Gecko, when suddenly this completely inexplicable spinning cube showed up in the middle of the level.
What the
Now, unfortunately, Nanachi was a bit concerned with maintaining his speedrunning record, so he didn't really pause and give this thing the look over that it really deserved.
Speedrunners are the most disciplined people on the entire planet. No matter what happens, they're so dedicated to the run that they will never look away. You find a speedrunner, see a shiny Pokemon, they kill it. They don't even capture it. They don't even look twice at it because they're going for the world record and that's the reason that they're there. They find a brand new glitch in a video game that's never been seen before, don't care, got a speedrun record to go for.
This is particularly unfortunate because the cube on this level has never shown up for another Gex player ever again, though another cube was later found out of bounds on the level Buccaneer program.
Oh, ew!
Another interesting discovery
like a developer's
comes from
kid
my
or
buddy
something like that?
YouTuber Oblivion Walker, who found that when zoomed into first-person view on this random number generator during the absolutely disturbing boss battle Mushu Pork. How the hell did I play this as a
Jesus Christ.
If you wait long enough, a random message would suddenly appear at the top of the screen. Hooray for Bunny Gex, he sure is a funny Gex, rah rah rah.
What is going on?
Don't get it either.
Is that's a developer joke? It's got to be a developer joke that they put in. That was never it was never supposed to be left in the game, but they just put it in there just as a joke between friends.
Biofide sent me this find of his own on my Discord server, where he found that by moving the camera into a cramped angle right at the beginning of the level sewers, you could find this hidden scrolling message suspended high in the air.
You know what he was doing, right? You know how he found that? Just let's go back a second. Let's see. I wonder how he found this message. It's crazy that he just mysteriously found this message by going into a corner and turning the camera around. I wonder what they were doing. I wonder.
You could find this hidden scrolling message suspended high in the air.
Could have been anything. Probably just dropped his controller or something like that, you know?
This left Biofide absolutely baffled, as far as he knows, there's no hidden rat anywhere in the game. However, I'm not ruling out the possibility that there's one still hiding somewhere. Devil May Cry 4. Thanks to Ruby Desu, who shared with me this interesting fact only present in the special edition of Devil May Cry 4. In the included intro for Virgil, at the end of the cutscene, a woman in a red dress and a white hood looks back at Virgil in a mysterious manner. For years, players have questioned, who is this bitch? Well, to fuel
Hey, that's a bit rude. She hasn't done anything wrong. No need to go that
the
far.
mystery, players later found a separate character model for the woman in the files of the game, which suggests she could have appeared somewhere in the actual game itself. With this knowledge, Devil May Cry players feel they have evidence the woman in red has, or at least once had, a serious significance to the story.
I know who it is. It's Little Red Riding Hood.
Popular theory being the woman in red is actually Virgil's mother. As no
She's like, oh, is this a big bad wolf?
info about the character has ever been uncovered at all since release in 2008. What the significance
it's a big
was
man?
supposed to be of the woman
Is that
in
a
the
wolf
red
right
dress
there?
remains a completely unsolved mystery.
Were you looking at the
Could
woman
be
in
his
the
mom.
red dress? I was. Look again.
Fez. Thanks to Shalovac who
Little Red
reminded
Riding
me
Hood,
of
I
this
told
one
you.
in the comment from the last video in this series. Fez is the highly acclaimed retro platformer made by indie developer Phil Fish.
Why was Phil Fish like the most popular or famous developer like 10 years ago, and then he just completely disappeared off the internet for the rest of his life?
Eccentric appearance in Indie Game the Movie and his abrupt exit from the game industry in 2013. Phil's game
Fez 2 is cancelled! I can't believe they cancelled Fez 2! No!
Fez, however,
Such
has
a
left
sad
a lasting
moment.
legacy for years as players continued to find secrets long after release. One of the most obscure finds was the discovery of the monolith, which was found once players discovered a clue in the unlockable first-person mode that led them to a cheat code that unveiled the object. Fans wondered what to do next.
That's a cool
after
perspective,
finding
I'm
the
gonna be
monolith.
honest. You
They
get a
found out
first-person
through
perspective?
development leaks that another code was supposed to be found in the same exact fashion as the first code they discovered. Well, after going through the game and failing to find any clues, they eventually gave up and set up a website where they collectively brute force code entries until they found the one that worked. In return, the monolith
That's
transformed
very
into a
cool.
red cube, one of the rarest items in the game. But since the code was cracked by brute force and Fish has since left the industry, to this day no one actually knows how the monolith code was actually supposed to be legitimately solved, or how it was logically tied to the game.
Why don't we just call
here's the
Phil Fish
last
and ask? Why don't we just phone him? Or DM him? I guess he's
I'm adding
probably
into
doesn't
the video.
hang out
I
on Twitter
just saw
anymore.
this comment from Bruno Velaz, who explains that these randomly placed codes on a wall were deciphered into numbers that were recently discovered by Reddit to be coordinates. And when the coordinates were put into Google
Coordinates?
Maps, it unveiled this strange landmark just sitting outside of Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, it's
And
a
that's as
triangle,
far as they got.
cringe.
It's still undetermined if this is a step forward in solving the mystery of the monolith, or if this is opening up another can of worms
Oh, what the hell? Why is it triangle shaped? What's going on here?
entirely.
Aliens. Crop circles,
Assassin's
man. Crop
Creed,
triangles.
Black Flag.
Go
Brian
in
on my
game.
Discord shared this footage with me of him strolling through the streets of Assassin's Creed Black Flag when suddenly an NPC that looked completely different than any other in the game appeared out of nowhere and started coming right at him. Broadus began to freak out when suddenly the character disappeared into thin air.
Whoa, wait. That was really weird. He didn't get, like, blocked off by the guy. It was just, that was a really weird
Another member
perspective
of my
thing that happened
community,
there.
Roy Ruby, pointed out that the character looked remarkably low poly from the rest
Look what
of the
happens to him when he
non-player
walks
characters
through.
in the game. Does
That
this
is
imply
so
that this was originally
strange.
some
The way-
sort of
oh, that
scripted
perspective
event
messes
that
me
ended
up, man.
cut from the game? Did a rogue AI suddenly snap and wanted to hand Broadus' ass before the system rejected him from doing so? Unfortunately, we can only continue
That's
to
so
ask
strange.
these questions, but ultimately answers will never likely come.
It's probably
Lost
just a low
Planet
poly
3.
guy, but still, it's kind
I'm
of
always
scary.
surprised when I bring up Lost Planet and people look at me with blank stares.
I played the original Lost Planet and I never finished it because I got super annoyed because it's like you have to stay warm all the time. It's a cold planet and you have to recap your thermal gogglings in.
Granted,
And
the
I was
series
just like, I
mostly
don't
took
like
off
this,
for
man.
360 owners looking for something to tide them over before Halo 3 was coming out, but even
That was
so,
literally
it was
it.
truly a great
It's like, you got an Xbox? Yeah, you want a shooter? Oh, we got Lost Planet for you here, bud. Don't you want to play that?
game series on its own. Anyway, after first receiving the shock jumper,
I didn't even know it had a
make your way
sequel,
into
or a
this hidden
sequel.
crevice away from the normal game environment.
Any
And then
game with a
slowly
zip
move
wire
towards
is a
this
game that I
ice wall.
appreciate, though. Whoa. Oh, hey, what's going on?
Seriously creepy
What's happening?
glowing eyes begin to flash from the other side.
Oh, it's a
Multiple
demon.
reports I've seen claim that there's actually a teddy bear behind the ice, but I'm honestly not sure where
Yeah,
they're
a
getting
teddy
that
bear?
from.
You think so?
Maybe somebody out there thinks it's worth taking a game trainer and unlocking the camera and actually peering over to the other side. But even so, why would there be a teddy bear in there in the first place?
Bro,
in fact, what seems
you
to be
saw
game
those red
developers
eyes.
need to hide evil teddy bears in their games?
No, listen, you saw those red eyes. There is not a teddy bear in there. That's where Satan's hanging out. What? No, you deserve that one. You did ask for it.
Another one from my Discord.
Thanks
to
Kirby.
Crabbo for sharing this one with me. Original Super Nintendo game Kirbys Dreamland 3. Players noticed in extremely rare instances an enemy would appear out of bounds that bared a striking resemblance to the Kirbster himself. Nicknamed Batman in Kirby lore, no players were ever able to figure out what the Batman's purpose were. It wasn't noticed for some time, but players found that on level 4-3, if they were to wait at this exit instead of entering it, and then time it just right when the screen moved, they'd be able to climb up on this cloud and enter into this creepy area filled with Batman, along with the only one you could actually encounter in bounds, who's gone in the swift of a second. What the Batman's actual intentions are in the Kirby universe still haunts players to this day.
Suck him up!
Find Kirbys Dreamland 3 as what we already knew to be the most unsettling and horrifying video game of all time.
Wait, what? The most unsettling and horrifying video game of all time? Since when? It's Kirbys Dreamland, man. What's so unsettling and horrifying about it? What the hell?
Starring Goemon.
The Mystical Ninja
on his YouTube in 2016.
Looks like Ocarina of Time.
Existed for quite some time among the Japanese fan community of this 20-year-old Goemon game.
The hell is a Goemon?
Was that supposedly several NPCs existed in the game that no one had ever found. Sure enough, it was found to be true of both the Japanese and the US version of the game, as players somehow found that by pressing all the C buttons and A and B combined in precise locations of the game, hidden characters would suddenly explode into the scene. One of the most confusing
how's anyone supposed to know how to do that?
Is simply a man with his dog who says this: "All work and no play will just make you tired. So I'll introduce my dogs to you." And then very bizarrely you can actually talk to his dogs. You say the name is strange? I say your speech is stranger.
I mean, that's true. He is a dog. I would imagine that he does think that the speech is quite strange, considering it's not bark, bark, and woof woofs.
Arf, bark, bow, wow. It's still grounds for debate on what exactly this is all about, as signs of some sort of suspected Easter egg connection have yet to surface. Also, given the obscurity of the whole thing and the fact that the hardcore Japanese Goemon community had rumors about this years before anybody else did, that probably means we're not going to get an answer about this anytime soon.
Wait, the hardcore Goemon community? No way there's more than 3 people on that. I'm sorry, there's no way. Mass Effect!
Without going into spoilers, Mass Effect 3 hit backlash after its release, as many players were upset by its abrupt.
I'm gonna be surprised if I don't know this. I'm a big Mass Effect nerd.
Up to across multiple games. The series was considered groundbreaking in its use of choice, and highly popularized the idea of your decisions carrying over to the next game through the use of your save file. Mass Effect 3 was the final game in the series, and the ending was considered so unsatisfying to some players who were immediately convinced that they had missed something.
Oh my god, I think I know what this is. Is it going to be the indoctrination theory?
Players came up with a theory that the ending never actually happened, as Commander Shepard may have been indoctrinated at some point in the story by the Reapers,
knew it, dude.
the ominous alien species that threatened humanity throughout the series. Players believe somewhere, somehow in Mass Effect 3, the Reapers slowly deteriorated Commander Shepard's mind, which made
the ending of Mass Effect 3 was so bad that the entire community came together and said, no, come on, there must be a deeper meaning here. Let's really delve into it. And they found all these little points in the game where something's slightly amiss, where maybe the Reapers are taking over Commander Shepard's mind. Turns out, the writers came out and they said, no, that's bullshit.
Made Commander Shepard dream up the game's final sequence in his head. Players investigated this theory in a Mass Effect forum thread that went on for over 800 pages, and eventually as the evidence continued to pile up over time, theory became more and more widely accepted.
I wish it was the real theory, because it is a genuinely really interesting theory, and I think it'll be really, really cool to.
Came out of this was an out-of-place texture that could only be the ending of the series. Of the final scene of the game. By breaking the camera and moving it into just the right angle, you can see that there's a bunch of trees in the reflection of this surface. But the odd thing is that there's no trees anywhere in this vicinity. Many players believe this to be a clue to indicate that things aren't really as they seem.
No, dude, there's no way the thing's gonna be that deep. The real reason is because reflections have to be placed, I think, manually, and then making reflections in video games is actually incredibly hard. So it could be that the texture for that reflection was just inputted there. They didn't think that anyone would actually go there, and because you're not supposed to. And then when someone flies a camera over there, boom, there's a tree reflection that's not supposed to be there.
Are these out-of-place textures of trees nowhere to be found in the reflections an intentional sign that the game's final sequence never actually happened? Making for one of the boldest.
This is the hardest core level military grade copium. Everyone, it was like mass copium. Everyone was on it. They were huffing it, they were puffing it.
All time? Or is it just another glitch and EA and BioWare really just f***ed fucked up the ending.
Yeah, they just fucked it up. And it's so
If you
sad to
enjoyed
me,
this
man. It's so sad to me because I love this series so much and I wish it would have been better. I wish they could have ended it better, but they didn't. It's just really sad. But anyway, I'm gonna buy the next game. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you subscribe to more Patterrz and subscribe to Odd Header. Their link is in the description.